Welcome back, IP1. I hope you are doing great, you are staying safe, and you are staying home. Welcome back to our lesson number 2 for semester number 2. Today we are talking about uses of hardware. So let's get started. So by now, I think you should know or have an understanding of types of computer hardware. So this is a computer in our picture. You can see different hardware such as printer, hard disk, CPU, RAM, mouse, keyboard, and the monitor, which shows what is happening in your computer. The computer hardware contains mechanical elements and electronic elements of the computer. It helps to run the computer. So hardware helps to run the computer. Some examples that we have learned from before are monitor, which looks like this, and it display like this. What it does is display the output, videos, and other graphics as it is directly connected to the CPU. Video displayed by the monitor uses the video card. Monitor can be compared to the television set, but the difference is the resolution and graphics displayed by the monitor are much high quality compared to the television set. Connected via a cable and gets fitted in a computer video card, which is installed in the motherboard of the computer system. Laptops, tablets, the monitor is pre-built in the system and there is no separate hardware installed in these devices. There are two types of computer monitors, which are CRT and LCD. So CRT is the old version of monitors, which you don't see much anymore unless you go to public places or the common use for governmental or some schools might have still like this old style CRT. So this is very old. I remember when I was a kid, we had one at home, but now most people don't have this anymore. Most people already moved to LCD, which is the newer, thinner, and better quality one. Next, we have CPU. CPU, or Central Processing Unit. What it does is it interpret and execute most of the common commands using other computer parts, software, and hardware. So it helps you to command your computer better. It's the core part of any PC, laptops, tablets, and notebooks. It's the brain of the computer as every operation is executed in the CPU only. Hardware, all the parts inside the computer, wires and circuits, which all come together and help the computer to run better and better. So it helps the computer to work. Next, we have the motherboard. What does the motherboard do? The motherboard is at the center of what makes PC work. The motherboard acts as a brain, and it looks like this. It's a sheet of maybe you could say metal, or a plate that these small wires and connectors and all these mechanical and electrical details are connected to each other to provide a suitable board for the computer to run all the system. RAM, or random access memory, is the processing speed of a RAM so the processing speed of a RAM is much faster than a hard disk, but RAM is a volatile device, which means when a computer system is shut down, all the information stored is wiped out, is deleted, is no more from the RAM. So it's deleted from the RAM or wiped out from the RAM, whereas hard disk is non-volatile, which means it stores the data permanently in it. So RAM stores the information and then process that information. And this is how a RAM would look like. Next, we have our hard disk. It stores the data in it. We can store data in a hard disk. It's pre-installed in CPU, or it can be used as an external device. The hard disk is non-volatile component, which means the data is stored permanently in hard disk, and it does not wipe out when the system is shut down. So hard disk would keep your information and all the storage on it. It can store all your information and keep it for the next time you turn on your computer. Every hard disk has a certain processing speed, which varies from 4,200 to 15,000 RPM. The higher the RPM, the more is the processing speed of the hard disk. So if the processing speed is higher, it is better. Next, we have hard drive. Hard drive is a storage device responsible for storing permanent and temporary data. This data comes in many different forms, but is essentially anything saved or installed to a computer. For example, computer programs, family photos, operating system, word processing documents, and so on. So this is the hard drive, which is just a drive, and it's external, and depending on how many gigabytes or terabytes you buy, it can have storage from 500 gigabytes to 10 terabytes or 15 terabytes or even more, which that's a lot. Even I have a hard drive right here. This is a hard drive also, which is mine is 2 terabytes, which I keep some photos or the lessons I teach you or some information that I need in the future. So a hard drive can help you to store your information, so you don't need to keep it on your computer because the computer can get viruses, or maybe it will get full and then it starts to become slower. So it's much better to have a hard drive or external hard drive to keep all this information, so you don't lose this kind of information, basically. I mean, the information you want to store. Next, we have the graphics processing unit, or GPU. GPU is important for 3D rendering. This GPU does exactly what its name suggests and processes huge batches of graphic data. You will find that your computer's graphics card has at least one GPU. This is how a GPU looks like. Advantages of computer hardware. Create an effective mode of communication that can help the organizations to improve their standards. It will help to make the task automated and help to store the huge chunks of data that can be beneficial for the organization or individual. The users can use the hardware to give the instruction or to command and obtain the output as per the given instructions. The processing speed of hardware device is fast, which will help to execute more operation at one time. The hardware devices are multi-processing, which means the user can use more than one hardware device at the same time. The hardware can be installed very easily in a computer system and can be upgraded as per the user requirements. All right, this page might be a bit complicated for you, but let me simplify it for you. So what computer hardware does is just it creates a better way of communication to help people to have better computers. It will help to automate or like make things automatic and help people to store their information better and more safe. And hardware is there to help you to instruct and command your computer what to do. And the processing speed of the hardware is like depending on what type of system you are running on. And so if you feel it's too slow for PC and the computers, you can upgrade them. The hardware devices are multi-purposing. It means that these can be depending on what hardware you use, as I said. And yeah, you can upgrade them in most computers. However, in laptops is set, so you might not be able to change it. And yes, thank you everyone for joining our class today. That's all for today. And I hope you are staying safe, staying home, and taking care of yourself. Take care. See you next week. And bye bye.